Have you ever finished a workout and thought, why do my knees hurt more than they did before I exercised? Or maybe you've stuck with a certain routine for years because it used to make you feel strong. But now something feels off. The truth is, your body changes as you age, and that means your exercise routine should change too. What worked wonderfully in your 30s or 40 seconds might be doing more harm than good now. And for many seniors, the wrong types of exercise are quietly damaging joints, causing stiffness, and making recovery much harder than it needs to be. Now, don't get me wrong, staying active is one of the best things you can do for your body and mind after 60. Movement keeps you mobile, dependent, and vibrant. But the kind of movement matters. And unfortunately, there are 5 very common exercises that many people over 60 still do, not realizing they can be brutal on aging joints. So in this video, we're going to have an honest chat about those exercises. I'll walk you through what they are, why they're risky for older adults, and most importantly what to do instead so you can keep moving safely and pain-free. Because the goal isn't just to stay active, it's to stay strong without wrecking your knees, hips, shoulders, or back in the process. Let's start with something that's probably very familiar: running, or more specifically, jogging on hard pavement. Now, back in the day, a good jog around the neighborhood might have been your go-to for staying in shape. And it's true, running is great for heart health, endurance, and burning calories. But here's the catch: after 60, your joints aren't cushioned the way they used to be. The cartilage, that smooth, rubbery tissue that protects your bones, naturally wears down with age. And running, especially on concrete, creates a pounding force that shoots straight up your ankles, knees, and hips every time your foot hits the ground. Many seniors don't realize this until the damage is already done. You might start to feel that deep, aching pain in your knees, or notice swelling after your jogs. That's your body telling you it's not happy with the impact. And pushing through it doesn't build strength, it just adds stress. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up cardio. You just need to swap the pavement for something joint-friendly. Brisk walking, especially on softer surfaces like a trail or track, gives you the benefits without the bone-rattling impact. Swimming and cycling are also fantastic, low-impact ways to protect your joints while getting your heart pumping. And if you enjoy being outside, try Nordic walking with poles. It supports your joints and gives you a full-body workout without the pounding. Now, let's move on to another common culprit: deep squats. You've probably seen them done at gyms, in fitness videos, or even in yoga classes. And sure, they work your legs and glutes. But for older adults, deep squats can be like kryptonite for the knees. Why? Because they force your knees into a sharp bend under load, especially if you're holding weights. And unless your knees are in perfect shape, which, let's be honest, very few of us have after 60, that deep bend can strain the tendons and grind the cartilage that's already thinning out. Even bodyweight squats done too low can create wear and tear over time. You might feel a clicking or grinding sensation, or worse, sharp pain when you stand up. That's your knee saying, hey, this isn't working for me anymore. But again, we don't need to throw squats out completely. The trick is to modify them. Doing a chair squat, where you lower yourself just until you touch a sturdy chair behind you, is a smart way to train your legs while keeping your knees safe. You can also hold onto a countertop or rail for support and control. The key is to focus on alignment, knees in line with your toes, weight in your heels, and never dropping lower than your body is comfortable with. And if you've had knee replacements or chronic joint pain, leg presses or resistance bands can build strength without putting your joints in a risky position. Now, let's talk about something you might have done at home for years: sit-ups or crunches. You lie on the floor, hook your feet under the couch, and crank out a few reps, thinking you're doing your core a favor. But here's the issue: traditional sit-ups put a tremendous amount of pressure on the lower back, especially the discs between your vertebrae. As we age, those discs naturally lose flexibility and hydration, making them more prone to bulging or herniation. Plus, let's be honest, how many of us actually use our abs when we do sit-ups? More often than not, it's the neck and hips that end up straining. And if you've ever felt a pinching pain in your lower back or tightness in your neck after a core workout, sit-ups could be the reason. There's a better way to build core strength, and it's all about support and stability. Instead of crunching, try gentle pelvic tilts, where you lie on your back with knees bent and slowly rock your hips up and down. Or do a modified plank by leaning on a kitchen counter or wall. Even seated core exercises where you lift one knee at a time while sitting upright in a sturdy chair can help you engage your core without stressing your spine. The core is about stability, not just six-pack muscles. A strong core helps you stay balanced, stand tall, and avoid back injuries, but it should never hurt to get there. Alright, that's already a lot to think about, isn't it? These are exercises so many of us were taught to do, even praised for doing, and yet, they may not be serving us anymore. The truth is, getting older doesn't mean you should stop moving. It just means moving smarter, listening to your body, and choosing activities that work with your joints, not against them. Now that we've looked at the risks behind running, deep squats, and sit-ups, let's keep going. Because there are still a couple more exercises that might be sneaking joint damage into your routine, without you realizing it. So far, we've talked about 3 exercises that can quietly chip away at your joint health: running on pavement, deep squats, and traditional sit-ups. These are the kinds of movements many of us grew up thinking were essential for fitness. And it's not your fault. No one told us back then that what's safe at 30 might become risky at 60, 70, or beyond. But now that you know better, you can do better and protect your body in ways that help you stay active for the long haul. Now, let's turn our attention to another popular move that's been a staple in many home workouts and gym routines: push-ups. Now, I know some of you might already be shaking your head at this one. Push-ups can feel like a challenge even in your younger years, and after 60, they can quickly go from challenging to downright punishing, especially for your shoulders and wrists. The classic floor push-up forces your shoulders into a deep, loaded position that puts a ton of strain on the rotator cuff. That's the group of small muscles and tendons that help your shoulder move and stay stable. And let me tell you, once those rotator cuff muscles start to wear down or get inflamed, it can lead to chronic shoulder pain, limited range of motion, and even tears that require surgery. And that's not even getting into the pressure it puts on your wrists and elbows, which often take the brunt of the load if your form slips even slightly. Now, if you've ever felt a twinge in your shoulder during a push-up, or soreness afterward that just wouldn't go away, that's your body waving a red flag. And while some people push through it thinking no pain, no gain, that old saying just doesn't apply when it comes to joint health. Pain isn't a sign of progress. It's a warning. But just like the other exercises we've talked about, the solution isn't to avoid upper body work, it's to modify it. Instead of doing full push-ups on the floor, try doing them at an incline. That could mean placing your hands on a kitchen counter, a sturdy table, or even the back of a couch. This position keeps your shoulders in a safer range and takes a lot of the pressure off your wrists and elbows. If that still feels uncomfortable, you can build strength by doing simple wall presses. Stand a few feet from a wall, place your hands flat against it at shoulder height, and slowly bend your elbows to bring your chest toward the wall. Then push back. It might feel gentle, but don't underestimate it. These moves still work your arms, chest, and shoulders, just in a way that respects your joints. And remember, resistance bands are your friend. You can do so many effective upper body exercises with them, and they're easy on the joints. Plus, they help you control the range of motion, which is key for keeping those delicate shoulder structures safe and strong. Now, we've got one more to talk about, and this one surprises a lot of people. It's high-impact aerobic classes. You know the kind: jumping jacks, burpees, hopping in place to upbeat music. They're designed to get your heart rate up and keep you sweating. And for younger folks, they can be a fun way to burn calories. But for older adults, they can be a recipe for joint disaster. Here's why. All that jumping and bouncing sends shockwaves through your ankles, knees, hips, and spine. And if your joints are already dealing with arthritis, thinning cartilage, or past injuries, those shockwaves are like mini earthquakes every time your feet hit the ground. Over time, that can cause inflammation, swelling, and even permanent damage. I've spoken with so many seniors who've joined a class thinking, "This will help me stay young," only to end up needing physical therapy for months afterward. And they often blame themselves, not realizing it was the class, not their bodies, that was the problem. But again, the answer isn't to stop moving, it's to move smarter. If you enjoy group classes and the energy of music, try a low-impact alternative. Many senior centers, YMCAs, or even YouTube channels offer classes specifically designed for older adults. These routines swap jumping for stepping, include balance, work, and focus on joint-friendly movement patterns. Another wonderful option is water aerobics. The water cushions your joints, so you can move freely without the impact. And yet, you still get a powerful cardiovascular and muscular workout. It's also a great social activity, and let's face it, staying connected with others is just as important for your health as the exercise itself. One more gentle but incredibly effective alternative is Tai Chi. It's all about slow, flowing movements that improve balance, flexibility, and coordination, and it's been shown in multiple studies to reduce fall risk and joint pain in older adults. And best of all, it's easy to do in a small space with no equipment. What I really want to drive home here is this: you don't need to push your body to the limit to stay healthy. In fact, the real secret to aging well is respecting your limits and working with your body, not against it. Because here's the thing, every year after 60, your joints are working harder to keep you upright, mobile, and independent. They're your silent heroes, and the way you exercise can either protect them or punish them. The choice is yours. And if you're already feeling the effects of some of these risky moves, maybe your knees ache after exercise, or your shoulders feel stiff in the morning, it's not too late to change course. The body is incredibly resilient, even after 60, 70, or 80. When you give it the right kind of movement, healing begins. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to run marathons or do 100 push-ups. You just need to move in a way that supports your joints, strengthens your muscles, and brings you joy. That's what real, sustainable health looks like. Let's keep going and bring everything together, because now that we've identified the exercises that could be hurting your joints, it's time to look at the bigger picture. How do we build a movement routine that actually supports your body as you age? So now, we've seen the real story behind those familiar exercises, the ones we thought were helping us stay strong, but, for many seniors, are doing more harm than good. And if some of these caught you by surprise, you're not alone. Most people over 60 are never told that their joints, bones, and muscles respond differently to movement now than they did even 10 or 20 years ago. But here's what I really want you to hear. You don't need to stop moving. You just need to start moving smarter. Think of your joints like the hinges on a well-loved door. Over the years, they've opened and closed thousands of times. If they get a little creaky, a little stiffer, that's normal, but it also means you need to care for them a bit more intentionally. And the kind of exercise you do is the oil that keeps those hinges moving smoothly. So instead of pushing through exercises that leave you sore or stiff, shift your focus to movements that nourish your body. Think gentler, more fluid motions. Think low-impact strength work. Think about how you feel after you move, because that's where the real wisdom is. Let's take a second and just reflect on what we've gone over. Running on hard pavement? That kind of jarring impact doesn't do your knees or hips any favors. Deep squats? They can be rough on aging knees, especially if you're going too low or using too much weight. Sit-ups and crunches? They load the lower back in a way that just isn't worth the risk. Then we looked at traditional push-ups, those full body movements that often strain the wrists and shoulders instead of building strength safely. And finally, those high-impact cardio classes, full of bouncing and jumping, which can be a fast track to joint pain if you're not careful. Each one of these exercises can be modified, or better yet, replaced with something more forgiving, something tailored to support the body you live in right now, not the one you had at 35. And maybe that's the most powerful shift of all, letting go of the idea that aging means losing your strength, your energy, or your ability to move. Because the truth is, it doesn't. It just means moving with more purpose, more care, and more respect for what your body is telling you. So what should movement after 60 look like? It should feel good, not painful. It should support your balance, your flexibility, and your strength. It should keep your heart healthy and your muscles active, without breaking down your joints in the process. Gentle resistance training is a great place to start. Using resistance bands, light dumbbells, or even your own body weight in modified positions can help you build strength without strain. Exercises like wall sits, standing leg lifts, or seated rows with bands keep your muscles strong and your joints stable. And they can be done at home, with very little equipment. Walking, especially on grass, dirt pads, or even indoor tracks, is another fantastic option. It keeps you moving without the pounding of concrete. Swimming and water aerobics are incredible, especially for folks with arthritis or past injuries. Your joints float, your muscles work, and you leave the pool feeling lighter, both physically and mentally. And don't forget about balance and mobility. Tai Chi, gentle yoga, or even simple stretching with a chair can do wonders for your posture, coordination, and confidence on your feet. These aren't just nice extras, they're essential tools for staying independent and reducing your risk of falls. You see, movement in your 60s, 70 seconds, and beyond doesn't need to look like what you did in your 20s to be effective. In fact, it shouldn't. The key is to keep moving in ways that support the life you want to live. Whether that's gardening, playing with grandkids, going for a walk with your partner, or simply getting out of bed without aches and pains. And I want to be clear, it's never too late to make a change. Even if you've been doing one of those risky exercises for years, you can start protecting your joints today. You can shift to movements that feel better. You can learn to listen to your body's signals. That's the beauty of it. Your body may be older, but it's still adaptable, still capable, still worthy of care and attention. So here's my encouragement to you. Don't wait until something hurts to take action. If something feels off during a workout, stop. Reassess. Ask yourself, is this movement serving me? And if it's not, give yourself permission to change it. You're not quitting, you're evolving. And please, don't let pride or outdated fitness advice convince you that you have to do high-impact workouts to be fit. You don't. What you need is consistency, kindness to your body, and the right kinds of movement for you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What kinds of exercises have felt great for your body? Have you had to adjust your routine as you've gotten older? Leave a comment down below and share your experience. You never know who else might benefit from your story. And if this video helped you learn something new, or even gave you permission to stop doing an exercise that's been hurting you, give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more helpful, empowering health content coming just for you. Remember, you deserve to feel strong and confident in your body, not in spite of your age, but because of how wisely you care for it. You're not getting weaker, you're getting smarter, and that's a powerful thing. Here's to living moving better, and staying active the smart way. You've got this. Before we finish today, let's take a moment to talk about something that often gets left out of the fitness conversation: recovery. You see, protecting your joints isn't just about avoiding the wrong exercises. It's also about what you do before and after you move. Let's say you've swapped out those harmful exercises for joint-friendly alternatives. That's a fantastic first step. But if you're not taking care of your joints outside your workouts with things like stretching, hydration, and proper rest, you might still run into trouble. Stretching, for example, something most of us skip, right? It's tempting to jump right into movement and skip the warm-up. But for older adults, that's one of the easiest ways to injure yourself. Muscles and joints need a little extra time to wake up, and a short 5-minute warm-up can mean the difference between a good workout and a pulled muscle. Try this next time. Before you even start your main activity, spend a few minutes doing slow arm circles, shoulder rolls, toe taps, or gentle leg swings while holding onto a chair. You're not trying to break a sweat, you're simply telling your joints, hey, we're about to move. Let's get ready. And just as important is what happens afterward. When your workout is over, resist the urge to plop down and move on with your day. Instead, give your body a few minutes of cool down stretches. Think of it like a thank you to your joints for getting you through the session. Gentle hamstring stretches, calf stretches, or simply lying on your back and bringing one knee toward your chest can help ease tension and keep stiffness at bay. Now, let's talk about something a lot of folks underestimate: hydration. Believe it or not, your joints need water to stay healthy. The cartilage in your knees, hips, and spine is made up of water-rich tissue, and if you're even slightly dehydrated, that tissue can dry out and become more prone to damage. So if you're moving your body, but not sipping water before, during, and after, your joints might be working overtime without proper lubrication. Another simple yet powerful tip: invest in supportive shoes. It might sound small, but worn out, unsupportive shoes can mess with your alignment and increase impact on your ankles, knees, and hips, especially if you walk or exercise regularly. Your shoes are like tires for your body. They need good tread, solid cushioning, and a proper fit. You don't need anything fancy, just something comfortable that supports your arch and absorbs shock. And if you've had joint pain in the past, you might consider talking with a physical therapist, not because something's wrong, but because they can help you build a custom movement plan that works for your body. It's like having a coach who understands the aging process and knows exactly how to strengthen your muscles while protecting the areas that need extra care. You know, one of the most inspiring things I've noticed is how many people discover that they actually enjoy movement more once they stop doing the painful stuff. I've had folks tell me, "I thought I hated exercise, but it turns out I just hated the way it made me feel." Once they replaced joint-damaging workouts with joint-friendly routines, they started looking forward to movement. It became less of a chore and more of a gift. And maybe that's the biggest message of all: movement should feel like a gift. A way of celebrating your body, not punishing it. A way to build energy, improve your balance, ease stiffness, and reconnect with yourself in the best way. Now, if this video helps shift your mindset even a little, I want you to do something for yourself today. Pick one of those risky exercises we talked about. Just one. And find a safer, smarter alternative. Try it. See how it feels. And most importantly, listen to your body. If it feels good, do more of it. If it doesn't, don't push. Your body is wiser than you think. And while you're here, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What movement makes you feel your best these days? Is it a walk in the park? Gentle yoga? Dancing in the living room? Let's fill that comment section with ideas, encouragement, and real-life wisdom from people who know what it means to move with care. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. Helps this video reach more seniors who could really use this information. And subscribe if you want more no-nonsense, heart-centered health tips designed specifically for you. If you're looking for your next step, we've got a few videos you might love: one on gentle stretches for stiff joints, another on simple exercises to improve balance, and a favorite of our viewers, the best 3 movements to relieve back pain after 60. They're all about helping you feel stronger, looser, and more confident in your body no matter your age. Because in the end, that's what it's really about. Not doing the most reps, not lifting the heaviest weights, but feeling good, moving freely, waking up each day knowing your body is your ally, not your enemy. You deserve that. You've earned it. So here's to strong, happy joints, and to a body that supports you through every step, every stretch, and every joyful movement. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.